What if I told you that the school recruiting your son or daughter right now may be dealing with serious financial problems and nobody's going to tell you that? I know that sounds like a strong statement, but here's what's actually happening all over college athletics right now. Families spend years working toward a scholarship offer, travel teams, showcases, private trainers, hotels, flights, weekends away from home. And when that offer finally comes in, everyone's excited. I get it. That moment feels like everything you work for is paying off. But almost no one stops to ask one question that actually matters at this point. Is this school financially stable enough to give my child the experience we think we are signing up for? Because right now, we're watching a major change across college athletics. St. Anselm College just announced it's moving from Division 2 to Division 3. St. Francis of Pennsylvania announced it's dropping from Division 1 to Division 3. That one shocked a lot of people. They had literally just been in the NCAA tournament for men's basketball. The University of Hartford made the same move, and Centenary College from Louisiana did it years ago. And then there are schools that didn't get a chance to adjust at all. Cabrini University, right here in Pennsylvania, Notre Dame College closed, and Alderson Broaddus University also closed. This is just not a sports story. This is a higher educational, financial story. And athletics is where it's shown up first. My name's Keith Mondillo, and I just finished my 31st year as a college basketball coach and director of athletics. And I've sat in enrollment meetings, budget meetings, and meetings with the president. And I've watched institutions make hard decisions behind closed doors that families on the outside never see coming. So I want to talk about what is actually driving all of this and what your family needs to be paying attention to before you commit to any school. But before we get into all this, if your family is just starting with the recruiting process or you feel like you are already behind, go and grab my free college recruiting Jumpstart pack. The link is right here in my bio or visit keithmondillo.com. It's a no cost resource that gives your family a clear picture of how this process actually works and what you should be doing at every stage. So now let's get into this. St. Anselm College has more than 650 student athletes on its campus. That is a significant number for a school that size. So let's think through this practically. If their average net tuition revenue per athlete is somewhere around 16,000, that number may actually be higher. That it's over $10 million a year that athletics is generating for that institution through enrollment. Now, here's the question leadership at these schools is asking. If we continue to attract athletes without paying Division II scholarship money, why would we keep paying it? That's a decision being made in boardrooms and presidents' offices all over the country because running a Division II or Division I athletic program is not cheap. There's scholarships, travel, coaching salaries, facilities upgrades, insurance, compliance, recruiting budgets, staff. It all costs money and it all adds up fast. Small private colleges feel that pressure earlier than anyone else. This situation is more visible right now in the Northeast and the Mid Atlantic region. A lot of the schools dealing with this are small private institutions. They are tuition dependent, which means their financial health is directly tied to how many students enroll and how many students stay enrolled. That's exactly why many of these schools started adding sports over the last 20 years. More athletes on campus meant more students. More students meant more tuition revenue. And then more tuition revenue meant the institution could keep operating. So you saw schools adding wrestling, lacrosse, esports, flag football, stunt, and in some cases, JV programs on top of the varsity rosters just to get more bodies on campus. Some of these decisions were made strategically by schools that had a plan. Others were made out of desperation. And there's a real difference between those two situations, even if families cannot always tell from the outside. Here's where I think people get tripped up. They assume that these financial pressures are only a small school issue. They're not. I know Division I baseball programs right here in the city of Philadelphia that used to carry 9 scholarships, and now they've cut them down to 3. No press release, no big headlines, just a budget decision that happened quietly. These are real changes happening at real schools right now, and families are not hearing about them through traditional recruiting channels. Now, layer in everything else that is happening at the same time. The transfer portal has completely changed roster management. NIL expectations are putting new financial pressures on athletic departments. The House versus NCAA settlement is creating uncertainty around revenue sharing. Operational costs continue to climb. And in certain parts of the country, the number of high school graduates is actually declining, which means fewer potential students and fewer potential athletes. Put it all together, and I will tell you exactly what I expect to happen. More schools are going to restructure over the next 5 years, more divisional shifts, more program cuts, possibly more closures, not fewer, but more. And the families who are not asking the right questions right now are the ones who will be most caught off guard when it happens. And this is the part of this video that I think matters the most. Too many families treat the offer as the finish line. The offer is not the finish line. It's the starting point for your real homework. When a school's recruiting your son or daughter, you need to be asking real questions, not just about the sport, but about the institution itself. How's enrollment trending at this school? Is it growing? Is it flat? Or is it declining? Has the school cut any athletic programs in the last 5 years? Have they changed conferences, moved divisions? How stable is financial aid? And what is the gap between what they offer and what you can actually owe? What does the roster look like in terms of turnover? Are athletes staying or leaving? How long has the coaching staff been in place? Because if the coach who recruited your kid leaves, the scholarship promise does not always transfer the way families assume it does. These are not hostile questions, they're responsible questions. Any school worth attending will answer them for you. I want to be clear about something before I close this out. There are outstanding small colleges doing this the right way. Schools that are financially solid, mission driven, and genuinely invested in their student athletes. And this video is not about scaring your family away from smaller institutions. It's about making sure your family has the full picture before you make a decision that your son or daughter is going to live with for the next 4 years. The goal was never to get recruited. The goal is to find the right school, academically, athletically, socially, financially, and institutionally. And if your family wants help understanding how this entire process actually works, what questions to ask, and how to evaluate programs and how to avoid the mistakes most families make, take a look at my college recruiting on-ramp system. The link's below. And if you're just getting started, grab the free college recruiting Jumpstart pack first. It's free. There's no cost, no strings attached. Just a clear roadmap for your family. And remember, I am not a recruiting service. I am an educational organization that guides families like yours through the college athletic recruiting process. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.